Hey guys, it's Alexandra. Today I'm going to be talking with Jonathan Javier, who is the CEO of a company called Wansalting. They actually offer a lot of free resources to help people find jobs, learn about building a brand, networking, building resumes, interviewing, all kinds of stuff like that. So he has actually been featured in Forbes and he's getting ready to do a TED Talk. He's got experience with LinkedIn, Snapchat, all kinds of really helpful stuff. So I think that you will learn a lot from him. I hope that you'll stay tuned to check out our interview and subscribe for more videos. All right, thank you so much.
Strong words to use on your resume? Let's get it. I've gotten offers to work at these companies and help people get into these companies, and this is my number one tip. If you're trying to figure out how to crush your interviews, watch this. College doesn't matter, and this is why. Jonathan Javier here, CEO of Consulting. Our mission is to turn underdogs into winners. And yeah, how it all kind of started was actually, let's take it back when I was in college. So yeah, when I was in college, I'm actually doing a TEDx talk on this literally this Sunday for Cornell. So I've been practicing a little bit about this. But yeah, when I was in college, I was applying to all these different roles, and I came to it from a non-target school, which means like a school that didn't have a lot of opportunities. And I remember I was like applying to a lot of the different jobs online, like literally applying on the careers website, thinking that I would get a response back from one of the companies when in fact I never did. Only messages I would receive are literally ones that said, unfortunately, we decided to, AKA ones that rejected me. And so that's when I realized I was like, wow, I have to think outside the box, and I can't be taking the traditional path of simply applying and getting jobs, right? So what I did throughout my whole entire career to this day is utilize social media to basically leverage not only my connections, but build rapport with folks and also get into my career. So at Snapchat, Google, and Cisco, I actually never even applied to them, which sounds really snake oily, right? But the thing is, like, when you're able to utilize LinkedIn and the ways and capabilities that I've personally utilized and we teach at Consulting, that's how you're able to get into your career. And so that's what we've been doing at Consulting ever since. We've been teaching a lot of these different job search strategies I've seen on TikTok. It's crazy because we're usually the ones who come up with every single job search strategy, that a lot of them, because it's very unconventional. And yeah, I love making TikTok content. I think I've grown about almost 500K in the past 3-4 months, just making content in regards to how you can get a job. And the thing is, I think the way that why we've grown so fast is number one, because we teach strategies that nobody's heard before. So we're always the first movers. Number two, also like myself and Jerry, who's my co-founder, have worked in these corporate companies. So we've already had experiences with working in a corporate world, and then we teach it to other folks. And number three, always staying in touch with our community. It's so important because everybody has their underdog turn winner story, and we want all of them to be winners at the end of the day.
Awesome. And I think one interesting thing that you bring up in your videos is that college might not be the right path to achieve your goals. And I think still, even I feel like Gen Z definitely are more entrepreneurial than the previous generation, and that we don't necessarily see college as the only option. But a lot of people still do grow up thinking the only way you can succeed is by going to college. So what are your viewpoints on that?
Yeah, I think your college just doesn't define you. Before, when I was at school, I would always blame my college. I'd be like, I go to a non-target school. This is why I'm not getting jobs. But when in fact, a lot of people make excuses to why they can't get into their career. When in fact, any person from any background can get into their career as long as they put the strategies that we teach, or they just learn from basically trial and error. So yeah, I remember having that mindset. But honestly, the job search is a mental game, all a mental game. Why I say this is because all at the end of the day, you only need one job and you only need one person to believe in you, right? The thing is, though, people fail because they stop trying. If you keep on going, if you keep going and getting referred to jobs, if you keep networking, at the end of the day, something's good's going to happen to you. But the thing is, do you have the mental capacity to keep on going? And how you get that mental capacity is you associate yourself with folks who are also going for the same goal as you are. When I was a student, my first year, I wasn't focused in school. I was just doing XYZ. It's a college, it's a new experience. But yeah, when I changed and shifted my focus to having my five closest friends really reflect who I was as an individual, and they were all career driven, that's what allowed myself to grow. So for anybody out there who's listening to this, who needs to get into their career, it first starts with yourself, the folks who you associate with, and the content that you ultimately inherit, because the things that you see online is what your mindset's gonna become.
Awesome. And I think, it's so common nowadays. I feel like when you are questioning your career or you don't really know what to do, everybody says get on LinkedIn. And I feel like, at least for me, I don't really know what that means. I know that I have a profile and
Yeah.
I update my content onto there, but you give a lot of cool insight as to how you can really use that skill to your best ability. So what's your advice on using that to, drive your career further?
Yeah, I think everybody on LinkedIn should be creating content. That's why number one thing, because I think a lot of folks use it passively. So whenever I do a workshop, I always ask the question of, do you use LinkedIn actively or passively? And most people are passive, about 90%. The reason why is because people think, Alex, that their voices are going to be silenced, or that they're going to get repercussions in which they'll have different people's opinions that go into your comments and your content. Every single day, Alex, I get a hate comment. It's totally fine with me. At first, I used to be affected. I was like, oh my God, someone doesn't like my content. But I realized, like, remember when I was talking about the power of one, or the 99%, I call it the 99%, is you focus on the 99% of people who support you rather than the 1% of people who don't. I think that's super important, especially with utilizing LinkedIn, because you're always going to have people who don't like your content. It's totally fine. You focus on the people who do like it, right? The people who support you. So for everybody who's trying to make content, make content. Don't be afraid to share your voice. Number two, don't be afraid to reach out to people. This is what I teach all the time on TikTok and all my strategies, how to reach out to people that can get you to move the needle to work at a specific company. So I'll tell people how to send personalized invites. I'll say, how do you have an actual structured phone chat? And these job search strategies have been really beneficial, which I could talk about later in regards to people getting jobs. It's actually gotten me featured at actually this past year already, in the past 3 months, been featured on Forbes, Business Insider, Daily Mail. I was like, Daily Mail, what? Daily Mail, JobScan, Brains Magazine, LinkedIn News, Yahoo News, all for all my job search strategies. So it's been a pleasure, but it just shows the work that we're doing is helping folks. That's
Yeah.
the most important part of it.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I think it's something that over and over again we, add to our resumes and book interviews and stuff, but it's hard to know what is, the right way to take the skills that you have and show that you have them and not get bogged down by all the language of
Yeah.
resumes and stuff, and how that can kind of seem a little overwhelming. So when you think about giving someone advice on how to build a good resume without, stressing them out too much, what are like your key points that you would give?
Yeah, I think what's very important is, I'll give 3 points. Number one, basically you have to utilize numericals and quantifiable metrics. I think it's super important on your resume. So if you, for example, like let's say one key component of a resume is collaboration, you should put how many people you collaborated with, how much did that drive revenues, etc. Right? So that quantifiable metrics is super important. And if you don't know the numbers, just estimate it. No one's going to call your company and be like, did Alex grow revenues by 23.5%? No one's ever going to do that. Right. So estimate it, as long as it's not like crazy. Right. Number two, making sure that you just have a clean resume. Like what I say all the time is, if I looked at your resume for 6 seconds, what would I think of? You have to make sure your resume is also a representation of your own personal brand. I think the misconception is that you have to have an ATS friendly resume, which is important, but honestly, every resume should be ATS friendly. I think it's such a buzzword saying, oh, all these resumes, my resume is ATS friendly. Honestly, Alex, every resume is ATS friendly as long as it's in a simple structure. So that's a second part. The third part is basically you have to include a lot of differentiations in terms of education, work experience, leadership experience, and skills and interests. I think those are the top components. Your education should be at the top if you're currently a student or a new grad. It should be near the bottom before skills and interests if you're a professional. I think it should be 1 page. This is a personal opinion. A lot of people say it could be 2 pages. I personally think it's only 1 page. The reason being is because if you are a recruiter or hiring manager and you take 6 seconds on average to look at a resume, why would I take longer than 6 seconds to go look at 2 pages, right? So, and plus there's a lot of applicants. If a recruiter takes 60 seconds for 1,000 applicants, there's no way they would get through all of it. That's why an ATS is in place, because the ATS filters the resumes, gives it to the recruiters, then the recruiter sources it for the hiring manager. So I would say those are the three different things I'd say about resumes. Sorry if that's super detailed, but
No, it's fine. It's funny that you say that because they tell me the same thing in school, that it can't be, they won't let you do it more than one page, or they'll give it back to you and make you fix it. So
exactly. Nobody got time for that.
yes, exactly. And then when you do get lucky enough to get the interview, or you get somewhere where it's your first job, but you know it's not where you want to be in the long run, what are some like interpersonal skills that will get you where you want to be?
I think it's super important for people to realize that your first job out of college or your first job in general is not your last job. I think that's a very something that people always say to me. They're like, Jonathan, I have to work at a Facebook. I have to work at a Goldman Sachs out of college. You don't have to. You can always pivot into there. I think what happens, yeah, is people are so fast paced that their first thing has to be their last. I've met people all the time who work in corporate when I worked there that are like, I want out. And the people that aren't in, they want in. All right. So, number one, always remember that your first job isn't your last. And when you're in your first job, you should always be networking. I think what happens, and this is a lot with people who come from non-target schools, is when they go into different roles they're interested in, they've worked so hard to get to that point in life that they're going to keep on going. Internal networking and external networking. When I was at Snapchat, I would literally go reach out to everybody who's in tech, go reach out to all of them. The commonality that we have is literally we're both in tech. Example, Snapchat, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, whatever. Reach out to them and say, hey, my name is Jonathan Javier. I'm currently working at Snap. I saw that you work at Facebook in tech. I'm also in tech. I'd love to connect. It's simple, right? But the thing is that commonality piece. So if you're listening to this, you have to find a commonality between you and the other person. And the commonality might just be that you're both human.
Definitely. I think that's, yeah, networking can be something that I feel like people are it's not that difficult of a concept, but I think people play it up to be like, you need to, have all this experience in order to network. So if you were somebody who really is still trying to find their interest, how would you guide them from kind of square one?
Yeah, if you're still trying to find your interest, you got to network with people. I think what happens is a lot of people will say, go read a book or just go do your research. I mean, you can do your research and go read a book, but the thing is, the time that it takes is way too long. I think what happens, you have to identify 3 different roles or positions you're interested in and 3 industries. Then what you do, let's just say I'm interested in marketing. You got to go dive deeper. So marketing, what kind of marketing? Is it digital marketing? Is it social media marketing? Is it email marketing? I don't know. Identify that field, and then you identify people who are in the position. So for example, a digital marketing position would be a digital marketing coordinator, right? An entry level. I would then go on LinkedIn, I'd search digital marketing coordinator and go filter it to whichever companies I was interested in. Let's just say my top 5 are Facebook, Cisco, YouTube, Goldman Sachs, and Deloitte. I'm just making them up, right? Filter those 5 on LinkedIn. I go search all the people, then I go connect with all of them. The commonality between me and the other person is we're both interested in marketing. See? Then I'd have a phone chat with them. And why I have a phone chat with them is because when I have a phone chat with them, you can actually hear about what they do on a day-to-day rather than you just reading online, right? Reading online has so many different reviews of different things that it's just misconceptualized. So actually hear from an actual person who works in the role, and you'll be able to see if that's your passion or not. But that's exactly what I did for all my different roles, just that networking component.
And then how do you transform that networking in-person thing into kind of like the COVID online virtual situation that we're kind of in right now? Anybody job hunting in this climate, what would be your advice for how to do that most efficiently?
Yeah, it's going to sound so simple. It's literally reach out to people. Now, why I say this is because people get scared. What happens, Alex, is, for example, people get scared to reach out to people and be like, damn, I got rejected from this person. Or they'll be scared that they won't get a response. Now, the thing is, what we're ingrained in our heads is when we get a rejected or we don't get a response from someone, it makes our ego or our mindset go down because we're like, damn, I don't think I'm good enough. I used to reach out to 100 people a week when I was in my job search. 100 people, 10% of them would connect back with me. It's not a high number, it's the average. The thing is, did I focus on the 90% of people who didn't reach back or the 10% of people who did? In life, people have to realize that people aren't going to respond to you, and that's okay. You know what you do? You move on. That's literally what you do. There's about 70 million people plus on LinkedIn. One person doesn't respond, you have 69.9 million other people to reach out to.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you hope, are you going to continue making TikToks and content?
Yeah, I hope so. I try to think of different strategies that yeah, when I teach on TikTok, or I always stress this in my lives, like I would never teach something that I've personally never utilized to get into my own career. I think that's super important because there's so many different things that are taught in regards to XYZ. Like one of the things I dislike a ton, Alex, is some people are saying, oh, go highlight, go put
Oh, you cut out.
uh, oh, sorry. I
You
said,
broke for a second.
no worries. I said like, for example, like people would say copy and paste your job description into your resume and then put it into white space, white font. Like it's silly. Like recruiters aren't dumb, right? Like, so I'm just trying to teach strategies that people can utilize that I've been teaching for the past 3, 4 years, um, to help these people get into their different roles. So yeah, I'm gonna keep making TikToks. Hopefully they'll be insightful and hopefully they'll help more people get jobs every single day.
Awesome. And what's next for you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of great things. Like it's been an amazing journey so far ever since Want Something started about last year. Hopefully we're gonna be creating more content, obviously, right? We've grown immensely. Like on TikTok, I think we're about to hit 500K. On my personal Instagram, I think I at 112K now on followers in 2 months, which is crazy. But just keep creating content. That's one piece. Give me a lot of those resources. Number two, we are doing a lot of different like classes for a lot of different folks, like in regards to like how do you grow personal brand? How do you even get a job? I think that's important. So that part. Last but not least, we've been growing our program called the 20, which we take 20 students or job seekers and help them land jobs, which has been doing really well. So I think those three components are really important. The rest of it is on my vision board. I have to go look at it again. But what I recommend to everybody listening in is if you have a dream, if you have goals in life, draw your future. Very important. The reason why it sounds cheesy, but the thing is, when you actually draw your future, you're actually more inclined to make it into a reality.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, tuning in. I think
Of
your
course.
your videos and your advice is so valuable, and I think you deserve all the recognition that you're getting. So I hope to see you continue to climb up.
Appreciate it, Alex. Yeah, and everybody listening in, definitely follow on Instagram and TikTok. I only run the Want Something TikTok because I just I like TikTok, but I have my own personal Instagram. So, but yeah, for everybody out there job searching, keep on going. The thing is, if you never fail, if you never stop trying, and you only need one yes at the end of the day, always ask for help. If you never ask, you never know, and if you never ask, the answer is always no. So just ask.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It was great to meet you.
Of course. All right, awesome.
All right, keep in touch.
Cool. All right, Alex, let me know when it's posted and yeah, stay in
Yeah,
touch. Thanks
definitely.
again. And yeah, if you need anything for anything else, let me know. Or if I don't know if UMD wants a blog post or something, I'm always giving job search strategies. So
That would be awesome. All right, thank you so much.
cool. All right, Alex, have a good one. See ya.